In the last video, we talked about where we met and how we overcame difficulties before we started dating.
Today, we're going to be talking about how difficult it was to get married. Our story will show you what Japanese marriage culture is really like. Check it out!
Hi, this is Shinya.
And Saya with Relationship Love from Japan. We share tips to build a long-term relationship with your partner.
In Japan, the declining birth rate has been a serious problem. It will lead to an aging society. The declining birth rate has a lot to do with the declining marriage rate.
In Japan, having a baby without marriage is frowned upon. So, most people get married before having babies. However, getting married is becoming harder and harder in Japan because most young people learn what an ideal partner should be like from their parents.
But times have changed a lot. Our parents experienced a good economic period in Japan. It was called the bubble period. In short, our parents' generation was richer than current young people. Back then, Japanese husbands worked hard until late at night, and their wives stayed home doing housework and taking care of their kids.
Now, their kids became adults and they try to follow the model of their mother and father in marriage. But things have changed a lot. Japan has been struggling with an economic recession. Men's salary will not increase as they have in the past. More and more women are expected to keep their job after getting married, while men are expected to do the housework.
However, a lot of parents still want their daughters to marry a man with a good income and educational background. They also want their sons to marry a woman who is good at cooking and housework. But such a traditional marriage model is obsolete. Young people don't know what their ideal partner is like.
I had the same problem before getting married. In the last video, I shared the old standards that my ideal partner should have. He should be a university graduate. He should earn twice as much income as I. He shouldn't be divorced, and so on. The standards came from my parents and my experiences with my ex-boyfriends. After meeting Shinya, my standards changed.
In Japan, men have to go to their fiancé's parents' house to ask for permission to marry her. Unfortunately, her parents didn't like it at all because their way of living is opposite to mine. When I met her, her father worked for one of the biggest banks in Japan. Working for a bank is prestigious and you can be financially stable. You will never lose a job unless you quit. You have to be well educated to get a job at a bank.
My father graduated from Tokyo University, which is the most prestigious one in Japan. He worked for the same bank for his entire career. He met my mother at the same office where they worked together. Plus, I work for the same bank as my parents. My brother also works for another bank. Naturally, my parents want my future husband to be working for a bank, or worse, have a secure job, or at least have a good educational background.
However, I was the opposite of their ideal son-in-law. I didn't go to university, I changed jobs 5 times, and I didn't work full-time because I was preparing to start my own business. I wasn't stable at all. Of course, they didn't like my way of living. When I first met them, her father told me that I was not qualified to marry her.
Having heard this, he didn't speak to my father. He just listened and nodded. He was calm and didn't get emotional.
I didn't converse with them, but Saya did. They started arguing in front of me. She cried and screamed, and they yelled at each other. It was very intense. All I could do was just sit and watch them.
Actually, it was my first time making a decision against my parents. We argued for 4 hours and we got exhausted. Finally, my father gave in.
He gave me an Excel template on a USB memory stick and told me to submit my business plan to him. He wanted to judge if my business plans would be feasible or not. Later, I did a lot of research and filled out the form.
After that, he went to their house again with a suit and a small whiteboard to make a business presentation in front of my parents. He sounded extremely nervous on the phone the day before the meeting.
On the way to her parents' house, I ran into a magician friend on the train. I had been a magician for a decade, and my friend is one of the most famous magicians in Japan. He asked me why I was wearing a suit, so I explained my situation to him. After hearing my story, he gave me awesome advice. He said, "You don't have to do your presentation perfectly. I don't think her parents expect you to do everything perfectly. They just want to see your attitude. Just keep this in mind. When they point out the flaws of your plans, never get sulky. Never give it up. Show them your persistence. As long as you're passionate about your business plans and your relationship with your girlfriend, they will keep listening to you. Good luck." His words really encouraged me and relaxed me. He was a lifesaver.
When he came to my parents' house, he looked nervous but calm. He made a good presentation. Of course, my parents pointed out flaws in his plans and asked him many tough questions. But he stayed calm and tried to explain the details. I was impressed.
Actually, she kept her hand on my lap under the table while I was talking to her parents. That made me relax a lot.
After the long presentation, my parents told him to revise the plan and submit it to them again. A few months later, he came back and made a presentation. We repeated the same process for almost a year.
Finally, her father said, "Okay, I understand. I hope you will make it. By the way, when will you hold your wedding ceremony?" I realized that they had already been ready to welcome me as a family member. Since then, they have been super friendly to me. We might have been developing a bond with each other while I was making a lot of presentations.
Anyway, we got married and we have a daughter now. My parents are very happy to take care of their first granddaughter. That's what happened to us before getting married. There were a lot of hardships, but overcoming difficulties made us build a strong relationship.
What do you think about her story? What do parents in your country do when they first meet their daughters or sons' partners? Did you have a hard time getting married like us? Or was it easier for you to get married?
Let us know your country's customs and your experiences in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching and we'll see you soon!